In this video, I will show you guys how I made $2,700 by day trading Tesla, and that too within the first 30 minutes of market open. Not only that, this was one of my best trades yet, because if you look at risk to reward, my reward on this trade was 7 times the risk. That means I only risked around $400 in order to make $2,700, making it officially one of my best trades yet. In this video, I will be doing a complete breakdown of why I took this trade and why I held on to my winner on this trade. Because if you guys know me, if you guys have seen my previous videos, you guys know that usually on my winners, I exit my positions in like 2, 5 or maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, worst case scenario. But in this case, I held on to my winner for 25 minutes, which is a huge milestone for my personal trading as well. Let's start with my game plan for the day, and this play worked out perfectly from the game plan I post every single market open day on our Discord group. Let's take a look at the one-day chart of Tesla. Tesla has been on a huge rally recently for the past 2-3 weeks. And finally, the prior day, that was on 5th of April, we saw some sign of weakness. We saw one red candle with high volume, because since it started moving last week of March right here, it has been making big green candles with small red candles, big green candles with small red candles. And finally, on 5th of April, we saw one red candle with big volume. That means a lot of traders who try to chase Tesla right here for the break of all-time high, they will get stopped out if we see Tesla break the prior support. The prior support on this stock was $1,070. Let's take a look at my game plan now. I was watching Tesla for the break of 1070 and 1065 towards a downside. If we get under 1070 with volume, there's a high chance we might even break 1050, because we have a gap under $1,050 level. If you guys don't remember, on this day, Tesla released the news, the stock split news, and the stock gapped up. And because of that gap up, we have a gap from around $1,053 to around $1,010, $1,015. That means we have approximately $35 to $40 of gap if we come under 1050. And why I was watching 1070 and 1065 zone, for that we have to focus more on the hourly chart and zoom in a bit further. So before we do that, before we jump onto the hourly chart of Tesla, make sure that you guys give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification, because it helps out the channel a lot to reach new traders out there and grow as a community as well. So here's the hourly chart of Tesla without any indicators. So let's focus on the raw price action and see what happened. Ignore these candles, because these candles were after taking my position, but up until this day, we can see clearly that before breaking out on this day, that was on 4th of April, we were kind of holding this 1070 to 1065 zone as support right here. So the wick of this candle, if I draw a wick right here, the wick is around $1,066, and Tesla was kind of making a triangle here. It was holding this trend line, and then it broke out of this trend line towards the upside. That was on 4th of April. And then the next day, the prior day, we saw a sell-off on 5th of April. So if you're a trader who is looking for a trade towards the upside, most likely you will enter your position right here if you are a swing trader, and you will most likely exit your position at the break, or maybe you will hold on to the position for the break of all-time high as I discussed previously. So now if you are a swing trader, you entered right here, or maybe you entered at the breakout, your stop loss will be the break of 1070 towards the downside, because for the past 2-3 days we have been holding this area, this 1065 to 1070 area as support right here. So if we get under 1065 and 1070, there's a high chance we might see a lot of stop losses get triggered and a break towards a downside. Also, as I mentioned, that we have a gap under $1,050. The gap starts around $1,053 and ends around, I would say, $1,011. And this is the exact reason this was a really good trade, because this trade was a combination of a lot of factors, including the daily chart, including the hourly chart, looking at the market sentiment, looking at the stop losses, the potential stop losses and the entry point of other traders. And also we have a gap underneath us. And that is the reason this was one of my best trades yet. So we just broke down the daily chart and the hourly chart of Tesla. Let's now focus on the shorter time frame, the 1-minute chart, and look at my entries and exits and how I was able to execute on my game plan on this day. If you guys want access to my daily game plan and be part of a group of serious and supportive traders, you can join our Discord group. The link will be in the description box below. Also, this is the perfect time to join our group because we have the Easter discount code going at the moment that will give you 20% off the next 3 months. So now let's discuss the opening 5 minutes price action on Tesla. Tesla tried to break towards the upside on the first minute. The second minute we saw sellers take control and we saw a big red candle towards the downside, and Tesla made a new low of the day within the first 3-4 minutes of market open. Right here the low of the day was around $1,064 level. On this pullback you guys can see that on this green candle the volume is very low, and the high of this green candle is right around $1,070 level. As I mentioned, 1070 was acting as support for the past few days, so there's a high chance that 1070 might act as resistance now, especially if the market remains weak and we see a break towards the downside. This 1070 can act as resistance. When I saw weakness on the tape, and tape was very important because on the level 2 and the tape we saw a push above $1,070 level, but suddenly we saw a huge influx of sellers and sellers were trying to hit the bid. My entry was right here at $1,070 level, right at the top of this candle. I had the perfect entry in the world because 1070 was holding. We also have the VWAP on the daily chart. There's a high chance of a lot of stop losses getting triggered. That's why I entered my position at the top of this candle with the stop loss above 1071. So my stop loss was very small on this trade, and as soon as I entered I was clearly in the money. As soon as I entered, I remember Tesla dropping $4 to $5 in my favor, and I caught a really good move towards the downside. I will also post a screenshot of my fills right at the top. My entry was right here at the top of this candle. I got filled 5 contracts. I was trading 1050 puts and my fill price was 13.15. Worst case scenario, I would have lost around $400 to $500 on this trade. My first exit was right on this candle itself at 9:36 a.m. candle. I took 2 contracts out right here when Tesla made a new low of the day and when Tesla broke 1060 towards the downside. I took 2 contracts out at a fill price of 16.75. For my next partial, I held through this pullback, and if you guys ask me why, because this is a daily time frame breakdown and the hourly time frame breakdown, I was focusing more on the 5 minutes chart. Also, my entry was right here around $1,070 level. That's why I was still in the money. Even on this pullback, I was clearly in the money and I was green on this trade. On the next push down, when Tesla made a new low of the day, I took another contract out at a fill price of 17.00. I took my next contract out at 9:44 a.m. candle right here at the bottom of this candle with the fill price of 19.90. And finally, I took my last contract out at the break of 1045 towards the downside. At 10 a.m. candle, I saw the break of 1045. I covered my last contract at the fill price of 22.54. So you guys can see here, my first entry on this trade was at 9:35 a.m. and my last partial was at 10 a.m. That means I held on to my winner on this trade for 25 minutes, which is unlike me. I usually take my profits very quickly because I am a scalper, but I did mention this in my previous videos that if I see a daily time frame breakout, if I see an hourly time frame breakout coinciding with the overall market sentiment, I like to hold on to my winners because these winners can boost your equity curve towards the upside. And in total on this trade, I made $2,700 by only holding this trade for 25 minutes, and that too by only risking $400 on this trade because my stop loss on this trade was the break of 1071 towards the upside. If I would have seen the break of VWAP with a lot of buying momentum on the tape, I would have exited my position. That's why this was one of my best trades yet with awesome risk to reward. This was one of my best trades yet because the first reason is that this was a 7-hour trade. That means the reward on this trade was 7 times the risk, which is an amazing risk to reward trade. And the second reason, the more important reason, is that I held on to my winner for 25 minutes. If you guys have been following me for a while, you guys know that usually I'm a scalper. I scalp my trades, I hold those trades for only 2-5 minutes or maybe 10 minutes. In this case, I saw the daily time frame breakdown. I saw the breakdown of a critical support area with the overall market sentiment being bearish and also a gap fill play towards the downside. And that is why I had plenty of reasons to hold on to my trade, and I was able to successfully do that with A+ executions. That's why this is one of my best trades yet. I actually lowered my position sizing on this day because the first reason is that it's the start of the month, it's the start of the April. I don't want to risk a lot of my profits, and I like like to get green for the month before increasing my position sizing later in the month. And the second reason is that we also had the FOMC minutes on this day, that was on Wednesday 6th of April. That's why if we have any major economic event, I usually like to lower my position sizing, and that's what I did on this day. Now if you guys like this video, make sure that you guys give this video a thumbs up because it helps out the channel a lot to reach new traders out there, and it also takes a lot of time to make these kind of videos. And if you're new, obviously subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notifications. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, I already posted about this day on my Instagram. The link will be in the description box below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.